LTN. Luo Trending Nation. Mopandi inyenyo elela.
Raila Odinga kifo chake kilikuwa declared sahihi leo hii kwa Kenya. Asubuhi mapema asubuhi. William Samoei Ruto alisaini bili 8. Alisaini bili 8 ya kwanza ka make sure anaenda kuinfringe rights za activism. Rights za government critics through social media. Sasa ametaka social media anaenda kukua anafunga social media anafunga account zenu bila idhini ya court. Leo hii amesaini. Na ni mswada unapita kwa parliament au wabunge wetu mangurua na waambia hapa. Wenye hawezi pitisha bili ambayo inaweza protect our SHA itusaidie hospitali zile vitu critical za vechi mwananchi, hawezi pitisha bill ya kuondoa hata suluhu corruption, lakini wako na akili haraka mbongo lala ya kupiga mswada ya kumake sure Wakenya wanyime freedom ya speech in accordance with chapter 4 and the Bill of Rights article 18. Sasa tunaenda kuwa our laws, our freedom is going to be infringed. Ati mtu wa media ati ada right ya kurekodi ene matukio yote live unapata account yako inafungwa na status. Anaenda kwa ajili tumbloka toka hapa kina tuitume tudoko hapa. Tukufungia watu account. Is that what Kenyans you are anticipating? Na Ruto akakuwa mwerevu sana. Alisaini hiyo bill asubuhi kwa sababu alijua hii kifo ya Raila itafunika nini? Hizo vitu zote hamtauliza wa Kenya. That guy is smart but. Alisaini asubuhi. Ndio sasa tutakusaini hivi breaking news. Ndio akili zetu zote zihamie kwa Raila kifo cha. Msahau kuna bill zilisainiwa. Alisaini hii leo. Who is going to address that? Mkali mnaniambia hapa sijui Raila sijui this and that. Yeah, I don't focus with that nonsense. Hata yeye amekufa vile any other somebody can die. Yes, na kila mtu ikifika wakati wako kukufa utakufa tu. Hakuna mtu hapa ako special, ako subject to death. You'll die. When your time comes you'll die. Na mwisho wa kukifa ni wapi? 6/6. Hakuna kitu kingine. So tu hayo hapa tukibembelezana bwana. Kenyans deserves better in this country. The pain that Kenyans have undergone in this country is enough. And enough is enough. And that's why I'm calling Edwin Sifuna. Edwin Sifuna na huyu kijana anaitwa Babu
Nyakuramogi beisebedo gi achiedhi nade ka ipenjori kama inyalo chwalo lendo magi ne jopiny. Obed lendo mag ohala, lando nyasi kaachiel kod lendo mamoko mathoth. Bas kik ibed gi kionko moro amora nimar LTN Luo Trending Nation ni ka nikech in. Wan kod jolendo manigi oteku kendo nigi lony mamalo mar chwalo ni lendo meki ne oganda. Ne ler mathoth tudri kodwa e nembniwa magin 07 1 9 2 3 2 7 bende nyalo oronwa ote e luotrendingnation@gmail.com. Lendo manimba managi LTN Luo Trending Nation.
There is a bill that just went into power. This one. So the president signed 8 bills into law today. Today is the 15th of October. I'm recording this at 4 p.m. All right. Today, the one article, it was published when? The 15th of October. So 8 bills have been signed today. I think they timed to announce the death of Rao to sign these bills. Quite a number of them. There is the National Land Commission Act, the Wildlife Act, Cyber Crimes, National Police, whatever, Air Passenger Service Act, and there is so many acts. And with that, I decided, let me just see what happened with the first one. So this first, the Land National Act bill was passed. I went to check it out on the Parliament website. Nandiyo bill number 76. Let me zoom in one. It's here. So it's this one. It was brought in 2023, just when Ruto became preso. All right. It was brought by the majority leader, and it was bill number 7. It was number 76 of that particular year. But they were dealing with bill number 2, and they were doing amendments on it. So this is the guy. This dude over here. His name is Kimani. This dude has really messed up our country. This guy over here, a terrible human being, man. Mungu atusaidie. So the bill, this is the actual bill itself. It was number 76 of that year. They were amending the land laws, which is number 2, amendment number 2 of the land laws. So it's way down there. So I actually opened it on another page. There were quite a number of amendments, but I'm going to concentrate on this one, the Land Control Act. So the bill seeks to reconstitute and align the land control boards according to the Constitution of Kenya. All right. So they're trying to reconstitute and align the Land Control Board. So according to the Constitution of Kenya in 2010, where new governance structure and enable granting access to transact on agricultural land. So this board over here did not have any powers to grant any agricultural land within the paradigms of Article 65 of the Constitution that allows non-citizens. So they didn't have. The person who had that constitutional right was the President of Kenya, according to the bill. Now, it doesn't say, according to Article number 65, this one over here, it doesn't say that non-citizens were not allowed to own land. They were. They were allowed to lease land up to 1990. They were allowed to even do whatever they desire with the land. But specifically, we're dealing with agricultural land. So according to the Land Act, there is land that is defined as agricultural land. And these guys, the non-citizens, were not given access to that land unless you get a presidential consent, not from the Lands Board. So, but now the bill continues so that to own land and leasehold not exceeding 99 years, as opposed to when their ownership could be only permitted by the president. Now, these are the dangers. Now, if you are a non-citizen and you want to lease land for 99 years on an agricultural land, where in a country where food security is so important, I see why the people who wrote the Constitution wanted a presidential clearance. Now, it's not easy to be the president, granted, but I see what our forefathers, what they were thinking when they wanted this. It's purely to protect Kenyans, because it's very difficult to see the president. Now, this is too loose. This board can be corrupted, the Land Controls Board. If these are the only people clearing this land, we're in trouble. Because a group of people here and there, given a few millions, they will clear that land easily and it will be cleared. No. Remember, this bill does not give any other way for that land to be cleared. And because of that, after reading this, we actually came up with suggestions. Here we are. Because it's always good to come up with solve the problems. Let me zoom in. First is, I don't have a problem with these people handling the transaction consent. Command Z. Transaction consent. By all means, make sure the land is worth a reasonable amount using certified valuation, addressing any boundaries, issues, whatever. Any transactional part they can do, but they should not be the only ones clearing it. There should be another person who deals with strategy. Menishika. So there should be a clearance from a cabinet secretary of lands, maybe with the help of them, CS for agriculture. Focus on the national interest and food security impact, checking that the project follows national policy on food security. This is very important, man. National policy on food security. And land use, the additional measure. We need to set up mandatory food security protections. One is add standards that all non-citizen lease must follow that are not negotiable. This thing is not mentioned anywhere in that act. I mean, it's so vague. It's so vague. Haipeani our non-citizen limitations is how it's wide open. We need to put limitations to that. There are things that should be non-negotiable. Strategic land use. We need to distinguish between the two types of farms. And let me zoom in here because this is very important. We need to know designated food basket land. Yani places like Kitale, that is a bread basket of Kenya. So we need to find and legally mark areas that are important for growing staple foods like maize, beans, and dairy. Applications from non-citizen to lease land that is larger than a certain minimum amount is specified should be automatically turned down. They should not just go beyond certain we should put limitations on this, minimum size, we should put limitations on this, that there is a minimum you can take. Definitely technology, the lease, whatever, but there's something here that came through, that a rule of a certain amount of produce, 20 to 30% must be sold in the country first. Remember, the main reason these guys are getting land is for food security for our own people also, as they sell it abroad. Kama unauza, but let's give our own people food security. That 20 or 30% of your produce should be sold locally before it is exported. Another word is acreage cap. All these things can be mentioned in that bill. Like we set a restriction of the amount of land, for example, like 2,500, that a single foreign company can lease for farming. That we should have a maximum. This is just what I'm thinking. Duration tiers. Set up a lease period based on the investment size. Like for example, for small scale or pilot projects, they should not go beyond 25 or 15 years. Menishika, this is people leasing anything around 100 to 200 acres. Yeah, it should be like that. But anyone going large like this, get your 99 years. All right? But anything around this, we can give you 15 or 20 years. So details like this help. Kenyan majority, at least on the minimum. And we need to insist that senior management needs to be 0.5% Kenyan. Things like this, we have Kenyans who are highly educated who can run these farms. Either way, run for the day. We pick solutions. We see problems like this, and we give solutions to problems. Manishika. And if they don't, we will do it. I'll say to you. I'm done.
Weche mopondo, weche mopandi, inyenyo elela.
Kineno kokuoko mi matiende ni onge.
Isebe.
Ne sigana mamulongimani, sigandi joluo, joajawa.
Jothum mokwongo kapok waduogo kuom joangla. Ong'ane life mar jothum gi familia margi. Ineno.
Luo Trending Nation ni ong'ala manyime mar gundo ni wechegi kaka gitimore kod ng'ama otimogi maonge deo wang'.
Ochiem to chiem mariek nikech be samoro.
Tudri kodwa seche duto, ndalo duto, kinde duto e tong wang' mbui mar YouTube, TikTok, Facebook mondo yudu wechegi kamora mora maintie mana kar bedo.
Kete mana kai. Kete mana kokidwa kete katu wabru keti gi thuon.
Luo Trending Nation, LTN, the best ahead of the rest. LTN, Luo Trending Nation.
LTN, Luo Trending Nation. Mopandi inyenyo elela.